Hello and welcome to Foundation Nation. I'm your host, Matthew Cote, high school educated, master of nothing, and gifted with the knowledge of, well, a lot. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs, the crumbles and the cracks. And yes, I'm talking about your home's foundation. But we're also going to be talking about foundations of life. So join us here on this beautiful downtown Burien, Washington, as we explore with our guests foundations of your home and the foundations of life. So sit back, relax, and let's get ready to go on an adventure. Ooh. Hey, all right. Thanks for joining us today, Ken. I'm really excited to have you here. This is podcast number... Hey, Monica, what podcast is this? 5. Podcast 5.
5 alive.
Number 5 is alive.
Right on.
All right. Hey, that's a good bingo number. Remember
I like that.
So we're sitting here today with Ken, and, I put a title on this meeting. You want to hear what it is? Or did you already read it on the board?
Is that the one that's on the board? I did see that.
Financial Ninja.
Ninja. Whoa.
All right, whatever. I usually
I like it.
Yeah.
Financial Ninja.
Financial Ninja. In today's day and age.
Right.
You got to be something special to be able to do what you do.
You got to be well versed in all the arts.
Totally. So what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Work, of course.
Yeah.
Raising kids. Looking forward big time to summer. I think more so than in a long time
ever before.
Yeah, we've all been so cooped up with this COVID business, and this little spring-like weather just is like, hey, I'm around the corner.
Yeah,
let's get the flip-flops out, the grill going, right? Mm-hmm. Set out on the deck, hit the pool, go to the beach.
Pool. You got a pool?
No, I have access to a pool.
Nice. You're a pool instructor to some extent.
Yeah, I'm a swim coach, water polo coach.
Right. Yeah. So you like your water
free time? I love the water. Absolutely.
Baby. Yeah. Total water, baby.
Love the water.
So, what else? So I haven't seen you in a minute. I mean, what's been going on in the world?
I know. Going on in the world. So let's see. You mean my personal world? I would know. Well, there's a lot going on in the world. Things are. I think there's a upbeat in the world. People are got a little spring in their step because it is spring. But I mean, things have changed, obviously, because of COVID.
Yeah.
The way businesses run is changed. The way people live their lives has changed. Some things for the good, some things for the better. It'll be great to get these kids. They get to go back to school on the for us. I think same for you and your boys. The 22nd.
Right.
They meant to do it, I guess, a week or so ago, but then bumped it again. And so I think these kids need it. Mm-hmm. They need that interaction with each other, recess, that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like for going. And it's a hybrid. I know they're not going to be in school all day. They have to come home for some part of it. But, I'm just like everyone else, just looking forward to just getting back to that normal vibe. I think there's just so much pent up energy behind this.
Yeah.
Like a slingshot. Yeah. Ready to just explode for people to do, go to concerts, experiences.
Yeah.
Right. Having those human experiences.
I do feel like, I think you're right. I do feel like, for example, if concerts opened up, it's going to be some kind of world record concert attendance. I'm talking everything, like even the Couch Expo.
Yeah. I mean,
everything.
Yeah. Or even just smaller regional, night in the park. You go with your family and you bust out a blanket and, bottle of wine and some local band is playing or something.
Ooh,
how cool would that be? Right? I mean, of course it'd be great to see some
beyond awesome.
Oh, yeah. What have we been doing? Just sitting in our houses all winter long.
Now, tell me a little bit about, who you work for and what you do.
Sure.
Pieces of that. Because I want to introduce that and introduce you in that capacity, as far as work goes, because I have a couple technical questions I was curious about.
So, of course, I don't even know if I said my name, Ken Alfonso, and I work for Edward Jones. So by title, I'm a financial advisor. But what I help people do is, I know a lot of people sometimes sit around and think, okay, maybe I'm saving, maybe I'm investing, do I have enough? Have I done enough so that when I'm no longer working and collecting a paycheck, I can maintain my lifestyle, take care of myself. Maybe if some weird, unexplained, unexpected event, maybe it's a health crisis, whatever, one of those events happen, am I prepared for it? So I view myself much more like a coach, a guide, help people to get to those goals, help them find out, okay, what is my number? What amount do I need when I'm 60, 65, 70? And coach you to get there.
Yeah.
Work with you, find out why. I think that's the important thing too. I mean, people come to me like, okay, well, I want to make money. Okay. Well,
go back to work.
Right. Well, there's that. But why? What is it? Well, I want to have money so I can do things and buy things. Why? I mean, there's more to it. For some, really, it's just, I just want to be able to do the things I want with the people I want, follow passions. Sometimes it's cool to have a client of mine retire and then go teach at a community college because they love to teach whatever. That's what my dad does. My dad teaches criminal justice classes after his retirement from law enforcement. So that's what I do. I help people achieve financial goals, work with them, partner with them, and have some fun along the way.
Yeah.
Clients have become really good friends. It's a cool thing to watch people hit these financial goals, send kids to college, because of the things we've done and put in place for them to be able to do so. It's really valuable.
Money is a.
It's a thing.
It's a thing, all right.
Yeah,
I wonder if you took money and somebody said, if somebody told you, okay, here's a giant pile of money, I want you to, or just the idea of money, and they told you to draw a picture of it that would resemble money, not like the symbol of money, like how would you draw a picture of money as
me personally?
Like what would it look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me personally, the picture is going to look a lot like family, right? Mm-hmm. The important people in my life. The picture's probably some sort of, it might have a house, the typical house, some land, family, food, so to me, that's what money is. It's more of what it allows you to do, right? Having that financial independence and not being bound by conditions and limits. I'm not talking about being a billionaire necessarily, or but just to be able to live simply. I mean, we're not here very long.
No, come on, man. 8 years, bam, bam, see ya.
Life is a vapor, right?
Yeah,
life is a vapor. So
made of carbon.
Yeah,
lots of carbon.
Right, exactly. So that's what my picture would look like. It'd be like more about experiences. I'm not going to put big mansions and boats and fancy cars in that picture. It's more about people doing things with each other, spending time together, that kind of thing.
So I have questions from the boys.
Let it rip.
So they said, hey, I told them Ken's coming on. They're like, what? That's awesome. Yeah. So Spicy's question was, if you are going to, and this is, so I got questions from all the boys, but this is the question that I'm going to ask. The other ones were just stupid. But this one was kind of super weird I didn't know where it came from. If you could replace it, keep everything the way it is in our economy in the United States, in the world maybe. Mm-hmm. But exactly what he said was keep everything the way it is, but take money out and replace it with what? What would you replace it with? Damn, 8-year-olds, right?
What is this question?
Is it weird?
Super really insightful question. Like, is he? Okay. So you're taking away the dollar or currency. Mm-hmm. Would you replace if you're going to buy something, right?
Yeah.
What are you going to spend it? Right. We're on track to. I don't know. I don't know if I have the answer for him. Mm-hmm. We're certainly seeing a shift in the marketplace with things like Bitcoin, right? Ethereum, people, what was that guy doing out there? So how people are paying for things, right?
Right.
And there's another currency and most people have yet to wrap their brains around Bitcoin because they don't understand it.
Oh, that was one of my questions.
But it's the thing.
That's interesting, because the very next thing I was going to ask you was I wanted to talk about cryptocurrency.
Ooh.
I just heard some weirdness from a really good friend of mine.
Okay.
So I know this. I'm going to tell you all I know, and I only know that because we went to a birthday party, a virtual birthday party, an outside virtual birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he was telling me he's mining Bitcoin. And I'm like, what? Like with a little shovel? He's all, no. He buys a machine that's like basically more or less the size of a cell phone from what he was explaining. And you plug it into your house and it like looks for GPS things and collects them, and you get 1 or 2 or 14 Bitcoins a week or something. And then you can buy those machines for some amount of money. I didn't ask him. And you can take it to different people's houses and they'll mine them for you to you, and they'll send them in different locations and all this. And I'm like, I have no.
Yeah, that's a thing. And it's over my head too, to be perfectly honest with you. You know, I mean, I know I'm in the financial industry, but I mean, I'm still wrapping my brain around this. But yeah, that's a thing. In fact, I believe, I could be wrong, maybe this is something you look up. I think there are actual data centers, buildings full of these mining tools, if you will, constantly mining Bitcoin, right?
Is this the new financial world?
You know, it's quite possibly. You know, I think it's hard for the everyday person to let go of, okay, you know, I want to buy that car, or I want to buy a gallon of milk, and here's my money. Right. Here's my dollars. I mean, even when you think about it, I don't pay cash for that many. I mean, I use cash, but it's with a card. It goes from one institution to the next.
When's the last time you burned $100?
Yeah, I'm not typically using actual greenbacks, right?
Right.
And so we're kind of really kind of, you know, people have talked about this cashless society for a long time, and now Bitcoin is just the biggest version of this cryptocurrency, right? The technology behind cryptocurrency is compelling. It's fascinating. Again, way over my head. Right. Yeah. Way over my head. But I don't, at this point, I don't think we can count it out. Right. Some people, I've heard both sides of the story. Well,
and I was kind of debating with Logan about it. I was like, yeah, come on, man. What are you going to buy with Bitcoin? He's like, well, guess what? You could buy a Tesla right now. Right. And I was like, what? Yeah. You could buy a Tesla with Bitcoin?
Well, and Musk, I believe, is a big fan of it. In fact, I think he owns some of it himself.
Oh, so, okay.
And in fact, I think even the Tesla, the company, just owns Bitcoin in the name of the company as well. Like they have a bunch of it.
Oh,
so okay. Yeah. And so it's fascinating. I mean, it's not regulated. It's a little scary still, right? It's not a regulated currency. So once the government wraps their mitts around it and makes it sort of like a regulated, then it won't be fun anymore. Yeah. But there's have you heard of the stories of the folks who can't get their Bitcoin? Have you heard of that? So again, I don't know the actual numbers, and there's an article recently, and I even heard it on the radio. So evidently, this is stored, right? It's all digital, right?
I should pause you. We're at a Harley dealership.
Ooh, yeah, look at that.
Man, they're roaring today.
I wonder if you use Bitcoin for that.
Yeah. It's a sunny day outside, you know.
It's a Bitcoin purchase. That was a nice bike.
Bust out.
So these guys, okay, so here's the story. This guy has all the, I think it was some $230 million worth of Bitcoin. But I guess when you buy the Bitcoin, you're issued this pass, almost like a flash drive type of device. Again, I'm butchering this. I don't know the technology well enough. But you have a passcode, like, your password. Well, you have 10 tries, you have 10 attempts, and 10 attempts only. And once your 10 attempts are up to put the correct passcode in to get your Bitcoin out, that's it. You're done. And so this guy had like 1 or 2 left. He misplaced it, wrote it, the typical wrote it on a piece of paper. But it's not like a typical, hey, like, you forget your username and password for your bank or whatever. You can re-get a new. You can't do that. So there's over $1 billion some odd dollars that is unclaimed, or Bitcoins rather, unclaimed, because people have either lost their device or lost their password and can't find it. It's crazy.
That's a problem.
Yeah. I mean,
Pablo Escobar, he took cash and went and buried it all over Cuba. People are still looking for it, but if they find it, they can keep it.
That dude had stuff. There's stashes everywhere. That guy had stashes and cash all over the place.
Millions of dollars he was burying.
Can you imagine? You get home, you tell your wife, here's the good news is we have $230 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah. Bad news is I can't find the password to get it again.
We have one attempt left.
That's a fun talk.
One attempt left.
That's one attempt.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, I don't. I'm going to start reading on it though, because I am curious. From what I know, it's just you have to be. It's very, very, very complicated to set up. Like the dude that started Bitcoin. The whole kind of I don't know if it was programming or something like this, but that mega complex.
Oh, again, way over my head.
Yeah,
I can't understand.
Well, didn't long ago what's the FDIC, the gold, where do they keep all the gold in the United States?
All over the place, but
the big
talking about Fort Knox and
Fort
places
Knox.
like that.
So, but the amount of gold that we had to secure our money, that's long gone. That's way over with, right? I mean,
you can still buy gold, of course.
But didn't we used to support our currency with gold?
You mean the gold standard?
Yeah,
pay for things with gold. Yeah,
but that's long.
Yeah, I forget when we went off the gold standard. I used to know the year, but we don't pay for things.
Because we have $50 trillion in debt,
right.
And we have $1 million gold.
Yeah.
So did you hear they passed that bill today? The $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
Well, it was a bunch of other stuff, and then COVID relief sprinkled in it. It's really what it.
Yeah.
I don't know where all the other money is. Some of it.
That is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And
a lot, boys.
There's a lot of money going to not COVID relief, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah. It's interesting, but either way, help is coming.
Well, help is coming for sure.
That's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, and I think people are getting back to work. Businesses are opening. This March 22nd, moving to phase 3 from I don't know what I thought just not long ago we were in phase 1B-4976, whatever the heck. Uncle Jay's got us in, but now we're jumping to phase 3 all of a sudden. We need it, right? Look, this of course this virus is legit and people have died. Yeah. But I think, come on, we're smart. We could figure this out. Yeah. Right?
I can't get over the fact that, Corona is a very serious thing and its existence going on, and the flu is gone.
Right.
I'm not a gene guy, Professor Germ. But
it's like a Saturday morning.
Weird.
It
I
is
just
bad.
Can't stop. That will not escape my brain.
Same. I don't even know how to comment on what's going on, because there's so much.
Weirdness.
Look, a lot of people. There's politics to it, of course. Politicians.
I do have a button for it. I'll tell you what's going on.
Let me hear it. You might be right.
I think I'm close.
The conspiracy.
Yep.
I know. It's I mean, it's interesting how all of a sudden things have. Okay, we've got to put these kids in class. I don't know what's changed. Has the data changed?
What I did.
I don't know. I'm not watching it anymore.
I'll tell you what I did here on NPR last week, I think. They said that Washington State has the lowest COVID rate in the country compared to Hawaii. Hawaii is the only one that's lower.
Oh, no kidding. Well, that's good news.
It's interesting because weren't we the first state to get hit?
Correct.
Yeah.
Patient 0, right?
Patient 0.
Yeah. Whatever.
Very close to it. We were top 5.
Yeah, it was out of a retirement nursing home. Yeah. Nursing home. Yeah.
So. Anyway,
well, that's good news. I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was. They were just talking about that. So, I think that it's interesting. And that Elon Musk guy is having a lot of influence on things right now. He's really a big player in the world's focus.
He is, and I think he's one. I mean, he's obviously probably the biggest name for. I think I mentioned it earlier. Things are changing. The way business has done is changing. I mean, because of this virus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who would have ever thought? I mean, how many Zoom conferences have you done? And then if you look
crazy,
exactly, and then you look at the stock itself, it's zoomed up. I mean, it's gone nuts. It's since pulled back a little bit, but when you think about commercial real estate and businesses thinking, hey, look, people are actually getting work done at home, and we're paying all this rent for all this office space.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's made businesses really focus on the important parts and the essential parts of their business, so they're cutting fat and cutting costs.
Has that affected the way you talk with people about investing?
Yeah.
What way?
Especially now. Well, I mean, one, just the physical, not meeting people face to face is often so. Again, using Zoom and technology and just a phone call. But
when you're monitoring a company,
right?
I assume you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're monitoring companies and you're thinking, if this company's, here's. I don't even know how the hell you monitor them, but basically, you monitor a company, and then has that monitoring process evolved over?
Well, yes, things changed pretty constantly, and so the latest, if you will, trend. If you've been watching the market, there's been a run up in companies that are going to benefit from the reopening of the economy. So Boeing. Great example. I mean, that thing dropped like a bucket. It was having, the company was having issues,
right?
And then another issue, then another, and then COVID hit. So
now they're back to making furniture.
And now they're and so I mean, again, I think there's so much pent up demand for personal experiences and doing things normal, flying, getting on an airplane, going places. The airlines have jumped up. So you have a focus there. So companies that are going to benefit from the reopening, hotel companies, hospitality companies. One of my favorite companies I was buying back at around $62 a share is called Live Nation. That's concerts. They promote and put together concerts, right? And shows.
Now, but
no, they've actually done pretty well because they did a lot of things online. They changed their business model a little bit, but now they're going back to, planning events.
It's so cool, when people are put in intense situations, how they get creative to survive.
Yeah. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? Yeah. And of course, now a big craze is electric vehicles because of a guy like Elon Musk. Yeah. And so think about, the companies that, I don't know if you heard this, General Motors said by the year 2035, this is General Motors.
Yes.
One of the big three.
Yes.
By the year 2035, they're only going to produce electric vehicles.
And I heard something similar about Ford literally just the other day during The Voice.
Yeah. Everyone else is going to follow.
Yeah.
That's the trend.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean cars like you and I drive are going to be gone? No, they're still going to be around.
Right.
But that's it. General Motors is no longer in... 2035 is not that far away. So think about all the ancillary, all the other companies that benefit, not just the car itself, the companies that make the batteries, the companies that mine the lithium.
Right.
So there's a lot of different. That's what I'm saying is things are changing. The way. Again,
are we going to have enough batteries for all that shit?
Who knows? And then the other thing is, where do these go if once these batteries are done?
Oh, sure.
How do we dispose of them?
If they're electric, right? You just throw some solar panels on the top and call it a day.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. Again, smarter guys than me figure this stuff out.
I just made that up.
I just help people invest in these opportunities.
That's a great idea. I'll give you money.
Let's go.
Well, there's a car right behind this building here. There's a big lot where hot rods come and visit. Have you ever seen them back there before? I
have seen them before. Yeah.
So one day I was over there walking around, checking it out with the boys, and this guy has a, what is it? What was it? Oh, it was some kind of I think it was a Camaro, if I'm right, but it was a hybrid Camaro.
Crazy.
That, if you start it up, it's just like, it doesn't sound impressive at all.
Right.
But then he has this modulator and speakers on the back.
What?
That he flips a switch, and when he revs it up, it sounds like the Beastmobile from
there you
Fast
go.
and Furious. And I was like, I could not tell the difference.
So because that's been an argument of old school guys.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've said it. To feel the rumble and the sound of the combustible engine, get in a big old and go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yep.
So if they can duplicate that in an electric vehicle,
how weird
come on.
It was really weird though. I was like,
that is pretty weird. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah. So he just basically somehow pushed on the gas and it read it, and then there's a giant speaker hanging somewhere around the back, and it just the speaker is in a fake exhaust tube that's not connected to the engine.
That's crazy.
And it roars out the exhaust tube, and I'm like, this is
something else.
Something amazing, His 40-year-old kid or I think he was 30 maybe. But that was pretty impressive.
It is impressive.
Yeah.
I have a client who works for a company that they're not a publicly traded company, but they're behind the technology, or one of the companies that's behind the technology for driverless vehicles, self-driving vehicles, and all the technology and all the things that go into that. That's kind of nutty to me.
Well, you see that coming around the corner too, because the new cars, they all got those sensors and backups. And,
we're on that trajectory.
Yeah, right? I believe it. I mean, there's who showed me the other day? A buddy of mine, Steve. He has like a new Chevy.
Okay.
I don't know if yours did that or not, but when he goes in reverse and he's connected to a trailer, it shows behind.
Yeah, it shows behind. No, I didn't have that feature. Yes, I saw that.
So what is it? You put it in reverse, little drone jumps out there?
I don't know. I saw a video on how they do that, and again, way beyond me, but it's so cool.
Awesome.
So you're driving this big old trailer. I mean, that's the thing. It sees behind the trailer.
Not behind the truck.
No, behind the trailer for you.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool, right? So again, things are changing, and things are changing fast.
I'm just going to call that,
I don't know,
bendy vision.
Bendy. I think that's.
So somebody at Chevy's like,
I can't wait to see the commercial for that.
Bendy vision on this truck.
Man, look at that guy's got bendy vision. Your sticker on the back.
It's like, well, they got WandaVision on Disney.
Well,
have you watched that?
I've not watched that yet. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, and somebody told me to watch it, and then they started and I'm like, I don't like those characters. And then they started describing it to me. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to watch it all.
I'll probably watch it eventually. Get Isaac. We like Marvel stuff.
What have you been watching lately?
Ooh, what have I been watching? Started watching a show, Billions. It's about a hedge fund manager. Some people probably know about that show. I'm a little late to that. Yeah, I love that. See, I like that stuff.
It's like,
it's cheesy, but it's passing the time.
The first hedge fund was created in 1822 by William Thomas.
It's funny. We haven't been watching that much stuff on TV. We did it first, when COVID first hit, you just hunker down and put on Netflix or whatever. But, some YouTube videos, I'm always looking at investments and different things in the market. Just goofing around the kids at home. I mean, really.
Yeah, we got a lot of wrestling time going down.
Board games and a lot of that stuff has been going on, which is cool. Cards.
Yeah, well, the teenagers came out of the room the other month, and they said, Pops, I was like, what's up? We came to the end of the internet.
Yeah, right.
When the teenagers give up and leave their computers behind.
Yeah, they get up and they got walleye vision. They can't see where they're going.
They're like, we got to get out of here.
They need some vitamin D.
Yeah, and then a day later, I think it snowed.
Oh,
we went dune boogieing all over the neighborhood.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
that was fun. I like the snow. That was fun.
That was crazy.
Took the Jeep, went a little nuts in that thing.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah. Well, you are. I'm looking at your awesomeness Jeep right now. It is a Jeep Wrangler. It looks like it's got about a 2-inch lift on it, maybe a 3-inch.
But it's 3.
3-inch body lift. Yeah. And you're saying getting ready for the summer. I mean, you can go topless on that.
I am going to go. It's going to happen.
That's happening.
Yeah, you're going to see me topless.
Get your 80s shorts out.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I had a Jeep when I was a younger guy, and that was fun in the summer. Right? You take the top off, and you had convertible and.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my old man had a Jeep, and he would give me a ride to school, and it didn't have a heater in it, so that sucked. It was a soft top.
Yeah, the old school
CJ5,
no heater.
yeah.
Yeah, they can be really cold in the winter and very hot in the summer.
Yeah, that was not fun. I was like, I always wanted a Jeep, and that pretty much killed my dreams. I like heat.
You still get a Jeep. That has a heater. Come on.
Yeah, no,
it takes a little while to get it going. The car's 24 years old.
Yeah. Well, what are the big things going on in the investment world these days?
Well, some of the things like I mentioned, just the pent up energy, the pent up demand for those.
Are people coming to you and they're like, I got a lot of money and I need to do something with it?
Right. Well, here's something. It's sort of investment related that a lot of people don't know about, and I've been talking about. There's something called I'm risking boring people because it's a discussion about insurance, but let me give you the basics. So starting January 1st, 2022, the state of Washington has it's called the Washington State Long-Term Care Trust Act. So if you're a W-2 worker, which most people are, there's going to be a new tax taken out of your paycheck. It's 58 cents for every $100 you make. It's not a ton, but they're chucking this money into a bucket, presumably for the goal that when you are retired and should you need long-term care, right? So you need you have to go into an assisted living facility or a nursing home or whatever.
Right.
The state will give you a chunk of money of $36,500 for 1 year, which sounds pretty good.
How do you?
So now that's if you need long-term care. You're eligible for this, right?
All right.
You're going to be paying into it.
Like,
with
are you
taxes.
talking like hospice kind of thing? Would hospice?
No. So let's say you have Alzheimer's, or what they use, insurance companies use they call them activities of daily living. Like, can you bathe yourself, feed yourself, or do you need help with these things?
Okay. All right.
So if you can't do for the state, it's going to be 3 of these. I think it's 7 activities of daily living. You can't do those. You need long-term care. So the state's going to give you 1 year of money. The catch, though, is, the tax that they're starting out with. What if you're working 20 more years?
Give it to you and then tax you?
No. They're taking it out of your paycheck first.
Okay, taking it out of your paycheck.
And then they'll give it to you if you need it. If you never need it, you're never going to get it. It's money that just you'll never get back.
So then why do that if you're not going to benefit?
Well, so that's the whole point is
taking care of old people?
You can actually opt out of this tax because you're going to get a long-term care insurance policy,
right?
Whether you like it or not. It's either going to be via the state through this tax, or you can say, hey, look, I don't want to pay the tax. I want to use that tax money instead and pay for my own personal insurance policy.
Right.
The benefits are a few. The state version is you only get 1 year worth of income. Most people are in long-term care for more than a year.
Got it.
Especially women.
Yes.
Women live longer. They're tougher than us.
Yeah, they're tough.
And they live longer in that, if they're in that stage in life.
Right.
The other thing is, should you want to retire to a different state, say you want to go to Idaho or Arizona or wherever, you cannot take it with you. You have to only retire in Washington. So instead of paying the tax, some people are opting out and saying, look, I'd rather just pay for my own insurance policy.
Complicated. A lot of thinking behind.
So that's a big thing for nobody knows about this, and it starts January 1st, 2022. So we're kind of under the gun. If people want to opt out, they have a deadline. I believe by the end of July is when they're looking to get.
Can they opt out whenever they want, or do they have to at the very beginning opt out?
No, this is it. I wish I should have brought that deadline. It's this year. You have until this year to opt out. Otherwise, you're in it for as long as you're working.
What's your vote?
Me personally, I'm going to opt out.
Oh, the investor says opt out.
Yeah, and it might benefit someone. Depends on your own personal situation. So I would rather.
How much of taxes would be taken out in 1 year?
So if you're making $200,000 a year, it's $1,200 a year.
$1,200?
Yeah, again, not a ton of money, but I can use that $1,200 and buy my own personal insurance policy that can grow over time because there's investments inside of it. It can provide tax-free money. But the thing about a life insurance policy, one of 3 things is going to happen. Well, I'm going to die, at some point, I mean, sounds morbid, but my beneficiaries get a death benefit. I might need long-term care if I get Alzheimer's or have a stroke and I need to go into a facility, so that insurance will cover that. Or, by miracle of all miracles, I live until age 100. Or, even if I don't want to, I can walk away from the life insurance policy. Actually, just give me my money back. So you can do that.
Right.
But with the state, you're going to pay this tax for as long as if you opt out, you're out forever.
Interesting.
So it's a pretty big deal. You can do both. It's not an either or. You can pay the tax and also have some sort of insurance policy. But a lot of people don't know about this. So it impacts. The reason why I bring it up is it can impact investing and saving. If you're saving all these years in a 401k.
Is that only Washington State, by the way?
We're the only state doing it right now. Yeah, we're the first one.
And how many people are there that are in this state?
I don't know. What is the population of Washington? I have no clue.
A lot more than 2.
Google it. More than 2. So if you're a W-2 worker, and if you're self-employed, you can opt in. If you're not a W-2 worker. But it's an interesting thing because, again, some people don't think about long-term care at all. We had some events in our family on my wife's side of the family, and we're looking at that for some parents, and it's not free.
Right.
And people say, I'll just use my IRA money or 401k money. Well, that money gets taxed when it comes out.
Right.
Insurance comes tax free. So it's a tool for investors. Again, part of my job, or what my job really is creating wealth, but also protecting it.
Right.
And this is a form of protecting your wealth.
I personally, if people come to me for tax advice, what I do is I tell them, save all your money and then refer to Super Troopers. You boys like Mexico?
Yeah. Just book on down to Mexico. Just get out here and go to Mexico. Right. Well, there you go. That's the remedy, right? Yeah. I mean, getting the heck out of Dodge, not a bad idea. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not exciting. It's not an exciting topic, but
that's
it is
amazing.
happening.
It actually, it makes me I feel like I gotta go.
Well, I mean, people are gonna.
How do I save $1,200 a year?
I mean, there's going to be some people opening their seeing their paycheck stub come January and go, what is this extra? What is this?
Boom, boom.
What is that? Yeah.
No, that's a big deal. So you got a newsletter going out for people or what?
Yeah, to a degree. There's like a little flyer, but mostly just talking with people like I'm doing with you and just, hey,
spread the word.
This is happening.
So go to what and do what? How would I say it?
To remedy this?
Yeah, go.
Yeah,
go?
Great question. If you're not working with an advisor.
I mean, you want to do it right now? Can I do it right now?
Yeah, you could go to washington.insurance.gov or wa.insurance.gov, I believe. And, that didn't work. Google Washington State Long-Term Care Trust. And while you're doing that, so I'll continue what I was saying, find an advisor, work with an advisor to see what would be the best option for you. Because for some, just paying the tax might be just fine.
Right.
It might cover you, that kind of thing. So it's Washington State Long-Term, there you go.
This one right here? Washington State Long-Term
that's probably
Care
an
Trust
article.
Act?
Mm-hmm. But what you need to do is meet with someone who can really take a look at you. Because I'm not a tax expert. That's not what I do. I don't give tax advice. This is just a tax on our income.
Yeah. This isn't a link. This is talking about how to do it.
So to opt out, I believe there's a form that you download from the government website, and you have to document that you have an insurance policy in it instead of paying the tax.
At least they give you an option, even if it's a pain in the butt. It
is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you get to opt out if you want to. So that's something I think a lot of people need to have their eyes and ears open to, because there's a deadline, number one. And over time, if you're even someone who's 30 years old who potentially is retiring at 65, they're paying into this thing for 35 years.
Whoa.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of
right.
dough.
And typically taxes are going to be higher in
Right.
20 and 30 years from now, and their income typically grows. So there's a lot of money that's going to go into this, and you're only going to get X, and there's rules, right? You can't leave
Is
Washington.
it 36,000 in 20 years?
No, they're indexing it for inflation.
Right. Okay.
Sure.
So it's not, that would be a total kick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't, it's not.
This brings me up to how the government is run. If the government was run as a company, where would it be?
Where would it be?
Yeah, I mean,
I think
if you ran a company like the United States runs,
sure. Well, if it's a profitable company, I mean, we would have a surplus. We'd
be bankrupt. I'll say it.
Right. Yeah.
And that brings me to my commercial that
Ooh, let's check it out. I love this commercial.
What does that say?
Use data appropriately.
All right, bring it.
So we're watching this commercial on the video.
What do we got?
I know you all can't see it, but number one, this has monkeys in it. So, or are they chimpanzees? Monkeys,
Sure.
I think.
So they're all in the office partying.
Right. So all these monkeys, and they're partying it up, and the office guy is trying to like.
He's like, hey, they're smoking, lighting cigars with money.
Yeah, drinking, smoking. They got banana peels everywhere. They're partying because their numbers were good for their quarter.
Basically, their financial advisor comes in and goes, no, the euro actually goes down, sir.
Yeah, and then so it says, don't ignore your data, learn from it, which is true, right? You gotta know your data.
Yeah,
you gotta know what it's a great commercial.
Yeah.
Career builder, I think, was what the company was. That's funny. It's Career Builder is I mean, you don't even know what they're advertising for, really, but just to find a career. But you remember this commercial because I do.
For the monkeys. Yeah. 2014. I remember that. But yeah, basically, I thought I didn't know. I thought he was a financial advisor. And the monkeys are all having a party because their numbers are up. He comes in and corrects the sign, the numbers are down.
Yeah, and they're still happy.
And then they walk over and go, no. And the monkeys, silently turn it back
around.
They start partying again. And they tell them go away.
They're like, whatever.
So I thought it was a financial advisor, but it's Career Builders.
It's Career Builder.
Is that just like get a job thing?
Yeah.
Website.
Yeah, you can find. You put your resume on there.
Jeez, talk about wrong. Great commercial.
Great commercial,
Good job, guys.
But yeah.
Some of the new commercials on the Super Bowls and stuff, I had no idea what they're about, but extremely entertaining.
There was a few entertaining ones. A couple of them I didn't quite get, but
yeah.
What was your favorite one?
I like the
trying to remember
Matthew McConaughey. He got up off the couch. He was like basically a piece of paper.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes walking off down the street, comes up to I think a Coke machine.
Yeah.
Slides into the Coke machine, where you grab the takes a drink and he puffs up back to normal.
Yeah.
He was all jammed.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't the girl the swimmer with no legs? Was that a Super Bowl commercial?
Could have been. I didn't see all
She was
of them.
adopted. And it was like it's a true story. She was adopted, and the adopted parents were like, yeah, we're gonna adopt her anyway.
Right.
She doesn't have legs, and then she became a champion open water swimmer or something like
with
that.
no legs.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy.
Did they put
I don't know if she was a champion. No.
Oh.
She just swam, dude.
Go, baby, go.
Well, let's go.
Okay, well, I guess that brings us to the moment of the end of the show. I'll lead off that.
Nice transition, though.
Yeah, we're going to go from no legs to... I want to hear about your foundation of life. We come on this show, and it's really, it's interesting to kind of reveal it. I'm hoping to have a series where I'll go back and I'll talk to people about how that foundation of life is kind of driving them forward. But the foundation of life, what are you standing on every day, sir?
Sure. Well, I mean, number one is my faith. I'm a Christian. I think without that, nothing else falls into place. So that's certainly one leg of the stool. And then, of course, family. I'm definitely a family person. I love coming home from work and seeing my family.
Yeah.
The COVID thing, in a lot of ways, forced more time with my kids and with my wife and family, and just I think that's that was a silver lining, right? I really got to spend some time that I wouldn't have otherwise. I helped out with recess, in the spring and summer. I took the kids out because what else are they doing?
Yep.
So that, and then my friends, so I have a good close group of friends. You're, of course, in that group. As you get older, you start realizing it's not so much the things you're doing or the things you're accomplishing, right? Something that's measurable. It's more about how you're impacting people, right? And that kind of thing. So faith, family, friends, those are my foundations. That's what keeps me going.
You got 3 Fs.
3 Fs.
FF and F.
FF and F. Failed. No. Faith, family, and friends, baby.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think that's, it's there's definitely a common thread. I think I've talked with probably 40 people at this point, specifically about the foundations of life. Common thread, no matter what, is some type of faith and family.
Absolutely.
And I hope that, people hear that. Because, it's hard to quantify the importance of family.
Yes, there's no number you can put to it at all.
There's not.
Not at all.
And it's all your creation and all you're doing. Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
And
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I'm as well thankful. I agree. So, with that said, is there anything in top of mind that you'd like to say about your current advisory position in the financial world that you'd like to tell anyone before we say adieu?
No, it's just if there's anyone out there listening and they're looking to get some advice and they want someone who will understand what's really important to them, they want someone who will use a process, right, to devise a very personal, customized strategy to get those goals. Yeah, and then someone who's going to partner with them. This is it's not me just telling people what to do. It's we work together, right?
Partnership.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
Like I said, I am a coach, right? In my free time, I coach.
Yeah.
And during my big boy job, I'm literally coaching people.
Yeah.
We're working. You're the players. Let's go. Or you're the owner of the team, is what I usually say. And I'm the coach. I'm like the Pete Carroll. And here are the teams we need. Here are the guys we need on the team, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I do. Your investments are the players, if you will, and I'm the coach helping the owner get where they want to go. So.
And you're out of the Edward Jones office in Des Moines, right?
In Des Moines.
Des Moines. I always call it
the financial district of Des Moines.
I'm from Washington. I can call anything I want.
Des Moines?
Des Moines is what I'm going to say. Des Moines.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, thanks for coming.
No, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Dude, it was awesome having you on and sharing your stories and chitty-chatting.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch you on the flip side.
You know it.
All right, man. You have a good day. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Foundation Nation. You can find us anywhere podcasts are available. If you would like to hear more conversations like this, please subscribe to Foundation Nation. And if you have any comments or suggestions on future topics or guests, just let us know. Please join us next time as we continue to search for the foundations of life.